What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. We're back with more Lackey Grand Prix number 13 gameplay, and we are now in round 4 of the Lackey Grand Prix, which means we're in the second to last round of Swiss. Most of the other Lackey Grand Prix have been only like 4 rounds of Swiss, but we're actually doing 5 because we've got like 20 or so people in this particular Lackey Grand Prix, which is awesome. And then after the 5th round, there will be a top 4 top cut of whoever the top 4 players are after the 5 rounds of Swiss, which being that I am technically going into this round, I got 1 full loss, 1 full win, and 1 timeout loss. That puts me technically in the running for still making it into the top 4, but I need this game to go my way, and I need the game after that to go my way, and then I need a few other games above me to go certain ways, so it's still in the running, but mostly just trying to have fun at this point. And I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing for the whole Lackey Grand Prix, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed the deck so far. The deck that I'm going to be playing today is going to employ a strategy kind of based on something that I like to do whenever a new set comes out, which is look at the evil characters in this set and try to see if there are any that pique my interest, as far as if I convert this character to a hero and attack with it, how cool is that going to be? What am I going to be able to do with that hero? Like what cool converted abilities can I get by using this evil character ability and trying to abuse it, or kind of make sure that it activates because I'm attacking with it instead of blocking. So it's more it's less reactive, I guess. And so the way that works for convert abilities, if you're unfamiliar, converted characters, so converted evil characters and evil weapons. So a weapon that's on an evil character that is converted actually converts with the character. And if they have been converted to a hero, and thus also a good weapon, then those abilities can activate, except for abilities that specifically target heroes when the card is at face value. I'm over here reading it straight from the REG, so just that's the exact language. So if it targets a hero or heroes, then the ability doesn't activate. Otherwise, it's free reign. You can do whatever you want. So I would like to start out on this page here by going through a few of the honorable mentions. I was looking at both Israel's Rebellion and Roots as kind of the most 2 recent sets, and trying to see if there was something from either of those sets that I could convert to a hero and just abuse the ability, or I mean, at least have fun with it. They do a pretty good job of making sure that no converted evil characters are like obnoxious or like ridiculously absurdly powerful heroes, but they do still allow for I guess, for example, like Woman as Snares down here, that would be pretty good as a hero ability, and so they put if blocking on there, and that means that the ability, it will activate, but it won't trigger because heroes aren't blocking. So converting Woman as Snares to a hero isn't going to get you anywhere except for a 6/7, not even meek hero with no special ability. So there are definitely some characters like that, or they put some powerful evil character abilities on characters that can't be converted, like demons or animals, and they don't have to worry about that quite as much. But that's kind of where they take out a lot of the fun here, putting if blocking on a lot of these characters. But I'm going to name some honorable mentions here from Israel's Rebellion and from Roots before getting into the big reveal for this deck, the direction I decided to go. So starting out here with Rebellious Israelites, opponent may discard a good card from hand. If they do not, you may activate an OT curse from reserve, may ban to an evil wilderness human. Obviously the ban part isn't going to work there because you can't ban to a character of opposite alignment, so no banning to the evil wilderness human, but the first part is actually kind of interesting. So your opponent can still discard a good card from hand when you attack, and if they do not, you can activate an OT curse from reserve. I don't think there are any like OT curses that are interesting enough to activate before your opponent has a chance to block, or even once they do. So this one, it's maybe in the top few from the last 2 sets, but nothing super special about it. Next one up is the Gray and Crimson Sabbath Breaker. That says you may look at up to X random cards from a hand. You may take a card except a dominant. This one's pretty interesting if you have a Wilderness Humans defense, because the X is the number of your evil Wilderness Humans. Of course, once you convert the Sabbath Breaker, it's not going to count itself, but there's no if blocking clause here. There's nothing else that requires Sabbath Breaker to be an evil character. So if you convert it to a hero, then you can attack, look at however many random cards from your opponent's hand, and then take a card on your attack. This one seems pretty good. Is probably one of my top choices from Israel's Rebellion for sure, and probably overall between the two sets. Yeah, I think this is one that would be fun to build around in a different deck, and maybe it's not even something you have to build around, but just something that you could utilize in a Wilderness Humans defense, that maybe you just throw a Holy Grail in there to usually use it on your opponent's evil characters, but once in a while use it on your own Sabbath Breaker. And it's a 0/7, so pretty great initiative there. So that one, definitely a consideration. Another one was Nadab the Wicked. This guy is actually pretty interesting. I mean, even as a blocker, I kind of like this, but as an attacker, this is kind of a cool ability. Protect hands, decks, and reserves from opponents' cards. And so that means that they can't use like the Deceiver to exchange to a card from their hand, or an evil character, from their deck or from their reserve. They can't do they can't block with an evil character that bans to a character from their hand, because their hand would be protected. They can't do a Malachite Slave to get a character from their deck. And then it also not just impacts the characters. They also can't block with someone who draws. So like Lying Prophet, Damsel, Blood Avenger, you wouldn't get the draw on that. And so yeah, the protection there is actually pretty interesting. We also see this on Mordecai, who is a hero, but Nadab here is a 1/2, so he's going to get pretty good initiative as well, on top of limiting your opponent's options, which is pretty cool. You do have to, I guess you don't actually have to worry about the Entrapping Pharisees. I was going to say you might have to worry about your hand being protected and getting punished for that, but your opponent actually wouldn't be able to reveal a card from their hand because their own hand would be protected from them. It's kind of a weird situation where like your own hand is protected from your abilities, but I think that that's kind of a cool ability on a character in general, but also, or like especially on a hero, when you're putting this out before your opponent responds. Like if your opponent attacks you, they're doing their Matthew or their Angel of the Winds to do their exchange, whatever, before you even have the chance to block. So Nadab's ability isn't going to be active yet, but you can, if you convert Nadab to a hero, then you get the option of putting that ability in battle, activating that before your opponent brings anything into battle, which I think is pretty cool. On top of that, you can't use the ban ability. He bans to an evil OT priest. Like I mentioned before, you can't ban to opposite alignment, but you could do the reserve bottom card of a deck thing, so like you might as well just get a little bit of value there. So maybe this could work with like a gold offense, that you're, if you're already trying to reserve cards from your opponent's deck, or you get Psychar. But I mean, the main part of the ability that I like is the protection, and then the fact that he's a 1/2 to get good initiative. I just think that's pretty cool. Also, the part about this character and the other characters that I'm going to mention in these honorable mentions here is that they all convert well with the Naaman's Servant Girl. Oh, sorry, I still have the set filter on here. So any unique Old Testament evil character is going to be a great target or like option if you're trying to utilize an ability on an evil character as a hero. So Naaman's Servant Girl says you may capture this hero to opponent's land of bondage to convert an evil OT human in territory to a hero of any brigade and add a unique human hero in territory to battle. So Rebellious Israelites and Sabbath Breaker are both generic. They are Old Testament, but Nadab and then the other two that I'm going to mention are both Old Testament and unique, so you can convert and add them to battle with Naaman's Servant Girl. And of course, she was made to work well with Naaman, who also has this a pretty good ability when converted, and it works both ways because it's just OT enhancements. Use my name and cannot be negated, not like evil OT enhancements. But yeah, that was kind of the or name and servant girl kind of makes the options better if it's a unique and Old Testament evil character. If it's just Old Testament, it's still generic. You can still convert it, and you can maybe add a unique character that can band to it. So, like with the Sabbath Breaker option, you could go and name and servant girl, convert your Sabbath Breaker, add Moses to battle, and then Moses lets you band to a wilderness human, so you could band a Sabbath Breaker, or same with the rebellious Israelites. That actually seems kind of cool. Like Moses, I go grab an enhancement, and then I'll band a Sabbath Breaker to take a card from your hand. Why not? So anyways, Nadab, I think he's probably my, he's up there with Sabbath Breaker. I think those are the top two of the honorable mentions here. And then the other one was Captain Potiphar. I don't think he's really all that exciting, but so he's maybe in the fifth slot of these five. But you can draw one. You could ban to an Egyptian warrior, maybe if you convert another Egyptian, and you can get some value there. Or because there aren't any good Egyptians, right? I don't believe so at this point. I don't know if there ever will be. I can't think of an option for that unless they ever made Moses an Egyptian. Okay, Pharaoh's daughter. I suppose she's a hero, but she's not a warrior, so don't get the ban. But you can discard a good enhancement from a deck. It's kind of just a cutesy way to get some selective mill from your opponent's deck. I don't know that I would never build a deck around this exactly, and even if he is in the deck, I wouldn't necessarily opt to use my Holy Grail to convert him, but it's one of the better options, or I guess effective options, somewhat effective options, I guess, from Israel's Rebellion. And the last one here that I'm going to mention is from Roots. And this is King Sargon II. You may play an evil OT fortress from deck. You may capture an evil human in a territory. So this has no if blocking clause, so that's pretty cool. You can play an evil OT fortress from deck. So you can grab your Sheol or grab whatever other evil fortress you want, and then capturing an evil human in a territory is actually pretty cool. It's like character or defense removal on a stick. You can attack with him every turn, or as long as he survives and all that. So I thought that one was a pretty cool one, but not quite good enough to want to build around necessarily. But I would say it was probably my third option of these. So maybe Nadab and Sabbath Breaker would be close. Probably Nadab, then Sabbath Breaker, King Sargon, Rebellious Israelites, then Captain Potiphar. But the number one slot, and the one that this deck is built around, is voila, Emperor Augustus. This guy, this is actually this was the only one that I felt was really worth actually building an entire deck around, and so that's what this deck is. So Emperor Augustus says, opponent must discard a New Testament card from hand control. Cool, I like it. And then may ban to a New Testament Roman except an Emperor. Doesn't have to be an evil Roman, so any New Testament Roman, as long as they're not an Emperor, which pretty much all the Emperors, well, at least the Emperors that we have in Redemption, are all bad dudes. So this works out pretty well. Any good Romans that we have, which we do have a few, are options for banning for Emperor Augustus. So Paul, for instance, is a Roman. Claudia is a Roman, and she opens up all the other NT heroes in the deck, so that just kind of put the cherry on top, I guess, where it's just Emperor Claudius can ban to Claudia, and then I can go to any other NT hero, which are all of my heroes in the deck are New Testament, or ban to your opponent's New Testament heroes. That works just as well. And there's one other kind of cheeky trick up our sleeves in this deck, is Roman citizenship. If used by a Roman, place on your non-Roman New Testament human, so good or evil. Character is Roman. If character enters battle, each player must discard one from hand. So the idea is giving the Roman identifier to one of our heroes. Maybe you want to do like Jairus, to go to Jairus' daughter and get the toss the next. Same thing with John. pretty good there. Watchful Servant can do some banding. Simon has some good utility in this deck. Zacchaeus also good. Reserve an evil card or choose an evil character to block. So we're picking at cards in our opponent's hand. And if people are playing a mostly Old Testament deck, then we might be hitting like some dominance with this one. Like if they're playing a New Testament Angel of the Lord, if they're playing Christian Martyr, if they're playing Falling Away, if they're playing Second Coming, most people are, even Son of God, if they're playing in the New Testament Son of God instead of the, now Old Testament one, because we do have that option available. But if they are playing the New Testament one and we can do things like the cross to restrict dominance or keep them from putting their dominance down, then they might be running out of New Testament cards to discard and might get lucky and hit some stuff with Emperor Augustus here while we're attacking, which is pretty cool. A couple other Romans, I suppose, that we have here on offense are the Centurion at Calvary and Centurion at Capernaum. It's actually kind of cool if you're just able to just put out a big banding chain and you're doing a bunch of stuff. So Emperor Augustus to make them discard, Centurion at Calvary to negate a card, Centurion at Capernaum to negate evil characters, and Paul getting a negate neutrals, lost soul protection, draw 2, or you do Claudia to anyone else. You can actually do a pretty sweet long banding chain with this deck, which it's kind of my style, I guess, or something I like to do, where I'm banding in a bunch of characters that each of them is kind of doing playing its part, I guess. Very much the way I like to play posties. So that is why this offense looks kind of wild. It's a little bit splashy, but I think it kind of works well with what I'm trying to do with Emperor Augustus, and then just to give him a good home even on defense as well, if that's if the converting aspect doesn't work out. He's still great on defense. Unfortunately, he can't ban to the Terrifying Beast. That was something that I was like, before I'd actually played with Emperor Augustus, I was like, oh yeah, that seems pretty good. Emperor Augustus can't ban to an Emperor, but he can ban to a Roman, and Terrifying Beast is Roman, but Terrifying Beast is Old Testament, so Emperor Augustus can't ban a Terrifying Beast, but you do have a few other options. I've got both of the Roman Centurions in here, so if I play them as evil, then Augustus can ban to them, or there's Pontius Pilate in reserve, which I can get out with Golgotha and a few other cards as well, Fear of Man and Deceiver. So there are definitely some banning options for Augustus still. Saul is common in today's meta, so if your opponent has a Saul in territory, you can ban to him as long as you don't have Paul in territory, and since you can't control the same unique character, since they both count for each other, they are the same dude. But yeah, otherwise I wanted to try out some of the new other Emperor stuff. So Nero's not new, but Otho and Vitellius are both new from Roots. So I wanted to try out some of the more like just mono Emperors or mono Romans decks. So this whole deck is basically a Romans deck, but a lot of the characters aren't Roman, but they'll work together well with them, or I'll make them Roman with Roman citizenship. A few of the options or like card slots in the deck are maybe a little bit questionable, like Godspeed. I don't know if it's really that great. If it fits super well, it might be better off being just another gold enhancement. Maybe Talitha Kum should be in the main deck. I kind of talk about this a little bit with my opponent, who I guess I haven't actually revealed yet, or haven't said yet, but it's in the title of the video, so you know it's against Tyler. Tyler and I talk for a bit after the video, talking about or after the game, sorry, talking about this deck, talking about Tyler's deck, and various other things, because Tyler talks, and so do I once in a while. So you can stick around after the game to get the lowdown on a few of the changes that I might make. The one is I was actually hoping to get this deck down to 50 cards. It is at 57, so I apologize for the slight what's the word I'm looking for? Inefficiency? No, not quite. I actually think this deck is fine at 57. I really wanted to streamline it so that I would be able to get Emperor Augustus to a hero kind of as soon as possible, but there are lots of ways to go and get him He's got a banned ability, so Clinging gets him, Golgotha gets him, Denarius gets him, Delivered gets him through Denarius, Simon of Cyrene, who is a boss, by the way, and especially in a deck like this, where you've got Denarius, Holy Grail, the Cross, and New Covenant, all options that he can go get, and they are pieces of the combo that we're trying to get. Denarius getting Augustus, and Holy Grail converting him to good. So yeah, Simon of Cyrene, A+ card right there. And I do have Peter in the deck, but I realize after the game, as I'm talking to Tyler, like, oh, I didn't put 4 Drachma coin in the deck. That would fit pretty well, but especially since it's 57 and could use a little bit more speed. But I feel like there's enough in the deck to kind of keep it rolling. And I guess I didn't even mention Darkness and Lawless. There are also ways to try to get toward Augustus and Prosperity too, I suppose. So yeah, the deck has a lot of options, and I don't think that it's like 57 is too bad, and the 8th dominant actually comes in handy in the game, as we'll see. So yeah, that's what this deck is trying to do. One of the other cool things about this is because Emperor Augustus has a reference from Luke 2:1, then when he's converted, he is a nativity hero. So I have Bethlehem Stable in here, just in case I use Holy Grail to convert my Augustus to a hero. I attack, or maybe I don't even get to attack. My opponent just plays Christian Martyr or something lame like that, where all right, all that hard work and now Augustus is gone, and the deck is still decent, but not as exciting as I want it to be. Well, if I have Bethlehem Stable out, then if they harm my Augustus, then I can put him into reserve, maybe grab him with Golgotha or Deceiver or Fear of Man, and then turn him back into a hero with my second use of Holy Grail, get a second chance there. I don't know if that's really what this deck needs, but I thought it was too cool to pass up, and I could grab Gabriel out of reserve to make the banding nonsense continue. I just have more banding options there. The slight nombo in this deck is Herod's Temple, protecting my Emperor Augustus from my convert abilities, because it's protected from, it's protecting from harm. So I can still actually use Holy Grail on my Augustus to convert him, because it's not harm when it's your own neutral cards, which is something that I think I misplayed during the game, or at least I thought was not true during the game. But yeah, that you can still Holy Grail your own evil character through Herod's Temple. What you can't do through Herod's Temple is use Roman citizenship on an evil character and place it on one of your heroes that's protected by Herod's Temple. So that's the one thing, I guess, to look out for, kind of the one nombo in the deck. But we also have Satan's Seat here to turn off the protection on Herod's Temple if needed, and also mostly to turn off my opponent's hand protection, so that Augustus can get through and get them to discard some cards. There are a few other slot choices, I think, in the main deck and in reserve here that could definitely be different. Could switch a few things up, but this was semi-hastily put together, and this was the only game that I've played with it so far, so there are definitely some things during gameplay that you notice. But either way, I do think, both building the deck was a lot of fun, and playing the deck was a lot of fun, especially with someone like Tyler, who, he's always going to be building something new and fresh and exciting or interesting. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys the game here. Tyler, I guess, like I said, he brought something pretty interesting. I'll just let you find out during the game. I don't need to spoil that for you. So anyways, that's the deck that we're playing for this week. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and have a word from me about Your Turn Games, who is a sponsor on the channel here. And if I can pull it up, okay, there it is. There is a flash sale going on today, which is not going to be the case for you who are watching this at least tomorrow. So you can ignore the little top part at the top here, except for the fact that the reason for the flash sale is because it is Kelsey's birthday. Kelsey is the co-owner of Your Turn Games with Andy, who most of us have interfaced with, and maybe we haven't, or I would say probably the majority of us haven't interfaced with Kelsey quite as much, but I do know that she is, working with Andy kind of in the background there to get all of your redemption supplies that you order packaged up and sent out and all that good stuff. So a huge shout out to Kelsey and everything that she does to support Your Turn Games, and in turn support us in the redemption community who are receiving the benefits of having the cards available here at Your Turn Games, having the singles, the complete sets, the display boxes, and the pre-built decks. All that awesome stuff that we get here at Your Turn Games, the redemption resources, and then of course their sponsorship of this channel. And not that I wouldn't be doing this without a sponsorship from Your Turn Games, or from anywhere, but I would, I do certainly appreciate the opportunity to be sponsored and support them, as we have a symbiotic relationship there, supporting each other. So let's continue the support in this community, and let's also just have a little appreciation for Kelsey. If you didn't see the message from Andy in the Discord, you can check that out and give a little party emoji or something like that. I think it'll be okay if it's a day late. But yeah, happy birthday, Kelsey. Now let's jump into the game. All right. Well, I rolled a 5. Oh, there we go. Let's actually look at my hand.
No souls on my end.
Same. Huh. Interesting. I probably go first, right?
Think so.
Yeah, sure. I will go first. And I will use this star ability. And do I use the other one? I don't think I do. Yeah. Alright, so I will just play a Lost Soul from my deck, because that's how we roll these days.
Yeah, it is. Play dull, right?
No, we'll get that one. And then I will make you a token. And your turn for stars.
And nothing on my end.
All right. All right. Let's put down a Bethlehem stable. And I will. Let's put down an Emperor Otho. And I will go to battle. If that's cool with you.
Yep.
Cool. Let's attack with Simon.
Yeah, baby.
Finally get this guy some play. And pick up that Denarius. Go looking for a Roman. I'm going to grab Augustus. And go ahead and discard the Denarius for the D3. And that's my attack.
Okay, so you're a mark character. And let's go.
I'm a mark character. What's that supposed to mean?
Character. Slave.
Mm-hmm.
You a evil human. And I'll reveal that to attempt to banish you.
Yep. Makes my Bethlehem stable a little bit awkward. But fortunately, Domitian is not trappers, so
Yep.
I will play this Amazing Faith, negate that guy. And let's go and get... I mean, that one seems good. Question is, do I play it now? Nah, I think not. So your initiative, mutual.
Okay, I'm gonna play Dom.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
I wanted to draw out the Amazing Faith, but I didn't know you were gonna grab Resurrection.
Yeah.
So when you were like, "Do I play it now?" I was like, "Oh."
I guess yeah. That's a. I don't know. I mean, like I probably should have like if it was a normal situation where you're like, okay, or I'll ask for a dominant initiative. I'm like, all right, I'll play. No, I'll play the Resurrection, but I don't know. I feel like since I already chose not to play it, then like it just makes sense for me to let you play it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how I felt too.
Maybe not, but like just based on how the rules work, I didn't have to there, but I don't know.
Yep. Once you were like, "I'm not gonna play it," I was like, "Okay, then I'm gonna play mine."
Yeah. All right. Well, I will.
Had you play it, you walk in there.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pass the turn.
Okay, draw 3. 1, 2. Draw 2 more. Draw 3. Draw 1 more. No stars. I don't have any. Let's see. Protect. Each upkeep. Let's go ahead and copy Humble. That's my upkeep. I didn't have stars, and let's go ahead.
Okay, so I've got my Lost Souls trigger.
Yeah.
I'll make myself a token.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, technically that goes before your imitate upkeep trigger, but yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Go ahead and activate. Let's go ahead and activate this guy and snag. Hero.
We have an Emperor's Mirror going on here.
A little bit. Let's see. Draw 3 and then put down Golgotha to stop my clock because I take a while. Grab Brood. Play. Flinging. Take. Tenets. Shuffle. Send to the bottom of deck. Tenet goes to hand. I'm going to put down. Let's see. You have an Emperor Augustus in your hand.
Yep.
I'm going to put down Balaam and Nero and pass turn.
All right, so this is what we're doing here. I see. I think I got things figured out.
Yeah. Yep. Cat's out of the bag.
Well, not sure I like that, but we'll see what happens. All right. I've got an upkeep trigger on my stable. You have no search inhibitors, so I will take a Gabriel Mouth of God from reserve.
Gabriel Mog.
Yeah. Gmog. Doesn't really work. Huh. Nice part about Domitian, I guess, is that he does work against angels, whereas
Yes, and trapping does not.
trappers does not. Let's put down the Gabriel. You know about him. What other hero options do I have in this deck? And I wish I would have played that Resurrection. I kind of want my Simon back. Yeah, I think I'm okay with doing this now. Let's play a good crowd's choice. Go to deck.
Okay.
And could go that way or that way.
Angels, Disciples, Resurrection, Amazing Faith, Simon.
We're
Doing over here.
going crazy over here. Don't worry about it. I've got that protection there. Alright, let's do Delivered. Discard that. And then we'll do... Don't really like giving you the draw, but we'll
Yeah, baby.
play the Delivered. And people actually play Balaam. Oh,
Move
shoot. Hold
bottom 2.
on.
Never have to use that. Oh, I have to wait for yours to finish first.
Yeah. Shoot. I kind of messed up the order there.
Send to bottom of deck. Send to bottom of deck.
Alright, well, I guess I did it. So I will stick to it. Let's do New Covenant. And I will search for a Teaching in Parables, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that was not really what I wanted to do, but...
And now I'm going to move the bottom 2 to the top of my hand.
Okay. Oh, I suppose I could have done that. Oh well, we'll get there. Okay, I will go to battle, if that's cool with you.
With me.
Alright, Angel of the Winds coming in hot. And then gotta figure out a way to not just lose to Domitian. The Centurion at Calvary.
Interesting.
I'm going to negate your color guard. And, well, I guess that's going to be negated anyway. Guess I'll negate your Balaam. And then we'll ban to Paul. And draw 2.
Okay.
And that's my rescue.
Okay, let's go
Definitely
with...
don't know how to play this deck very well yet.
You have a Teaching in Parables in your hand. Let's go Terrifying Beast and target Centurion.
But he's Roman.
Oh, he is Roman. So is Paul.
Yep.
And
Take that, Terrifying Beast.
Gabriel it is. You can't target 3 of your characters.
Bummer. Alright. I can't underdeck from my hand because I've got a stable, but I can reserve him because of stable, so I will do that.
Yep. I wasn't sure if you were going to catch it or not. And then I will ban 2 of Roman. And I think I banned to yours here. discarding the Assessment Gray enhancement from hand to discard all cards in battle, and then you would Teaching in Parables to negate or have something else. Do I want to do that or just make you play stuff? Man, I really want to use yours. Okay, let's go to you don't like my Domitian. Let's bring him in.
Sure.
You may reveal a New Testament Gray card. Beep, boop. To banish a hero in battle. Centurion, the target.
All right. Let's see. So yeah, I don't have special initiative, and I can't go from hand. So yeah, he gets banished. And I have initiative with Paul here. All right, I guess I will. I think I play the Resurrection here. Yeah. And I will grab a Fisherman and a Temple. And then we'll ban to... Alright, we'll ban to the Fisherman and Peter. And John will reveal Son of God to toss the next. And I will draw 2.
Okay.
And then Peter... I will convert him to Meek. And I will fail the search, I think. Right? Yeah.
Okay. And first thing I toss is Clinging on Paul.
Okay.
I'll just leave that out for the numbers. And I have to see. Okay, that works.
Let's see.
About initiative here, because
yeah, I'm 26.
Okay.
30, I think.
Okay. So it is my niche, and I will play Blot and negate and discard John. Get back Clinging.
Yep. All right. So Paul gets cleared. All right. So my initiative then, I think.
Yeah.
I will play. Yeah, this is weird. All right, so I'll play Godspeed. Interrupts plot. So John
is temporarily back.
Is temporarily back. I've got these 2 cards. I will band to Bartimaeus from hand. And I will reserve your top card.
Reveal top.
I'm glad you don't have that one. And then I will reveal that Son of God again.
Yep.
And we'll go to reserve for this will do Proclamation.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. I should do something that I can play on other heroes. Let's do Day of Judgment.
Ooh.
That seems a little better. Alright. So then John goes back to being
Resolved.
negated and discarded, so
Yeah.
now my one card goes back because Bartimaeus was the other one.
Okay.
And then Paul is back to being decreased. And we should save the game before we have to
Good
redo all
call.
that because something
Yes.
happens. All right. So back to numbers here. 7, 17, 25, and 7, 19, 21, 26, 25, 26.
Okay. And now that I know you have interrupt. Oh no, you have a Day of Judgment. Oh, you still have the negate in your hand. Interesting.
Let's see, and you do have 27 attack, so it is mutual.
All right. And I'll play. Tenants.
Yep.
I'm gonna go to Balaam, I think. Yeah, I think I go to Saul. I'm gonna go to Saul from hand, not Balaam. I'm gonna go to.
Paul's in battle, so Saul cannot enter battle.
Oh, you're right. Same character.
Got your
Love that.
major decision easy for you.
Yeah. And go to Balaam,
Yep.
and I will take an evil dominant and then resolve tenants.
Yep. And then, notably, even though I negated Balaam earlier, he's CVP because of your humble.
Yes.
Yep.
And he kicks back in and works. And I'm gonna take an evil dom, shuffle my deck, and then tenants is gonna pop Barty.
Yep. Barty Boy is discarded.
Because for some reason you can't get away from gold even when you're playing clay.
Yep. That's it's, a little bit of both. All right, so my initiative then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we make you have another negate.
Yep. And then I'll play my woes.
This one banishes itself though.
Oh, you're right. It does. If you use my New Testament, banish this card. But I did play my woes, so I'm
Well,
gonna stick to my woes.
I guess we got to resolve Day of Judgment first. So I mean, yeah, it's fine if you're.
Use my New Testament hero. Banish this card to banish. I forgot it banishes itself. So now they're all banished.
Yep.
And I have no one left.
Yeah. So yeah, if you pass special initiative, then Day of
And
Judgment
I'm
is passed.
special and Day of Judgment is gone, so I can't woes it.
Right.
Oh man, I had the block. Well, at least I think I had the block in my hand without woes with something else. Darn. Let's give you a well-earned lost soul.
Woohoo.
Well, I already used tenants.
Fair enough. Honestly,
Darn.
I mean, it it was because of a misplay, but I was not. I definitely was not expecting a lost soul there. After all of the drawing and defense fetching that you did on your turn.
Yeah.
And yeah, I should have played my prep phase a little differently there, but
that's gonna be a good one to dissect. I should probably take notes on that one.
all right. Gosh, I don't want to put down any more of my evil characters.
I already have 9 cards in hand.
Yeah, did a little bit of drawing, searching here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, let's see, Terrifying Beast is gone. Your only other banding character is probably Augustus, if you're using him, which means you can't ban to my Emperors or to Augustus himself. So we'll put him down. And I will pass the turn.
Alright, 1, 2, 3. And darkness. And I'm going to use a ability, your deck's protected. I'm gonna play... So weird you want to play a Lost Soul now. And then you have choices.
Right.
I think I'm gonna play Awless, and I'm gonna shuffle, and that goes back to my hand. And then I'm gonna go up.
So I got my Lost Souls trigger from your darkness. I will make another Meek Lost Soul for myself.
Okay.
And then in your draw phase, I might play a dominant here. On the one hand, I kind of want to keep my Son of God so I can still have good dominance to reveal, but on the other hand, I think it's better to take away your value engine. So yeah, I'm going to ask for dominance here.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. I'm going to rescue Imitate.
Okay.
I guess I could have waited until you
Yeah,
resolved the ability and
yeah.
see what you would have gotten.
See what it is. Yep. All right, so let's go. I'm gonna put, now that you converted him and your John's gone, I'm gonna put Color Guard in Golgotha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do Magic Charms, and the only target is Paul. So let's capture Paul to you.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and put down Claudia and
Claudia.
yeah, I actually want to put both of them down, and I'm going to pass turn.
All right. Got my complacent. All right, we'll use that star ability. You don't have any deck protection yet, so we'll hit your top card.
Reveal top. And Fear of Man is reserved.
Not bad. All right. No other. I guess I got my Lost Souls trigger. Sure, I'll make another token for myself. I'm just gonna keep it clean here. We'll just do it this way.
Boop, boop, boop.
No more Balaam, so let's put down a Jairus, and let's play this Teaching in Parables that you thought could negate cards in battle, unfortunately.
Yeah, negate cards in a territory. I was like, I'm pretty positive that's territory, but
yeah,
it doesn't hurt me playing as if you have a negate.
Right. So your Brood is not currently on, which is nice. I could
Correct.
negate that. Could also negate your Color Guard. Might be better off doing it that way, though. Let's... just had to capture my Paul, huh? This turn would have been a lot cooler. Oh, I missed my Bethlehem Stable trigger. That's
Stable.
sad. Yep. Alright, well, let's just negate your Brood, then.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think we can do that this turn yet. So, and then we'll take a peek at your hand. Alright, a few of the pieces coming on together here. Michael and Job. Second Coming, Murderous Command, so you probably got a Wives somewhere. And then a Distort the Truth. Alright. And a Deceiver. I suppose I could reserve Deceiver. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, reserve. Hey. Okay. Oh, I had him at the same time. All right, he's deserved.
All right. Yep. Man, if I had known about that, then I would have done that differently. All right, let's do New Covenant. Gonna grab a Talitha Comb from reserve. And I will put down an artifact. Try to get down on Humble just a little bit if we need, just in case here. And then I will go to battle. If you're cool with that.
Yep.
Alright, we're going to go with Jairus. No reveal. I will go to reserve for this daughter. And we'll top deck her to toss the next.
Who could you possibly ban into battle? Complacent. Let's go. You're not negating, you're just tossing the next. Let's go Saul, take, gathering the Sanhedrin. And let's toss.
Yeah, alright. Yep, you're an ish.
Let's toss Distort.
Yep. I'm going to activate my Herod's Temple.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have anything against that.
Jairus' daughter going to reserve.
Yep. There you go.
Alright, I will pass the turn.
3. Upkeep nothing. And let's put down Shield.
That's not what we like to see. Gonna have to start giving you some tokens at some point here, I suppose.
Let's put down, I think, Job and Michael, and activate Creator and draw 1. And I'm gonna discard Creator.
Sure.
And 6 cards are going in. I'm shuffling and I'm drawing 6. Your hand's protected.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I have that as my 6 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go Michael Captain. Push.
Ooh. Coming into battle. Alright, so you're negating enhancements and other characters except banding and tossing the stuff and whatnot. I don't know if I watched this video well enough here. I don't remember if you have enhancements to play on these guys. So you're 20, 22. So in theory, that's enough. Okay, so yeah, I guess we just do it this way. So let's go with Terrifying Beast. I think we'll just attempt to discard. Let's attempt to discard Michael.
And he's discarded.
Alright. and then I will ban to Vitellius and get a draw 2.
He's discarded. Gotta pull him out of there, see what you got. Your turn.
Yeah, I mean, like, Michael Captain is kind of hard to go wrong. Just push him out there and get her done. Alright. That can't be the right play. But, yeah, we'll get close. Alright, so I'm going to play Fear of Man. I'm going to negate my Herod's Temple this turn. And I will take an NT Gray card from reserve, which will be... let's just take Pilot.
Alright, so one search.
Yep. Think that might beat out of hand. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and shipwreck the shield now. Alright. I'm gonna deactivate New Covenant. I'm going to...
Was that the added Dom?
It was, actually. We're gonna use Holy Grail to convert my Emperor Augustus to gold. And then let's put down another artifact. And I would like to go to battle.
Okay.
And let's go with Emperor Augustus, make you discard a card.
Opponent must discard a New Testament card from hand.
See, it's really cool when you can ban a Paul, too.
That is cool. Let's see. What are my target? Huh. Okay. I guess I lose that.
Nice.
Do I have that? That. Okay.
And
Darn.
I will not ban. CBN enhancements. I don't like that. Oh man, I really missed my Bethlehem Stable trigger again. Alright, well, I guess it is your initiative.
Let's see.
I would love to activate my Herod's Temple here, but it is negated this turn, so... Yep.
Ready? Take that from reserve, so it goes to hand, and then band to any number of Pharisees and Sadducees, which I believe there's the one I took. You don't have any in Brood, so let's go to Brood.
Yep.
And under deck, negate and under deck.
Nice. You're bringing both of them in, right? So you'd bring them both
then,
in, and then...
Yeah, bring them both in, then I activate. You're right, so I can't choose first. Let's negate and under deck. I can't choose Jairus because Temple's out.
You should do stable.
I know, I was thinking stable. So the original plan was Brood to underdeck stable to play philosophy.
Oh, sure, yep.
You just have 21 cards in your hand, and I had to make sure I get a block, so it was kind of back and forth on what the best play was, if I could pop your dominant or not.
Yeah.
I think that was the better play was Brood to that. But let's go ahead and underdeck your Temple,
Yep.
and then go ahead and entrapping you.
Got another card in there to reveal.
And I actually no, I discarded it. I actually don't have it. Never mind.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's good for me. Huh.
Just realized I discarded my philosophy.
All right. I was actually kind of looking forward to the opportunity to reserve my Emperor Augustus with Bethlehem Stable because you can actually do that. But I guess if we don't have to, then this is
Oh,
better.
because of his scripture, he's a nativity hero.
Yep. All right. So I will instead we'll just play Talitha Kum. Do I have any use for Simon still? I think I've got all my gospel artifacts. Yeah, we get back Bart. I will ban to Bart, Jairus, and I think I probably need Peter for numbers here. What are you, 19, 22? Yeah, so we bring in Peter. So Bart will hit your top card. Cool. We'll reveal this 3 woes to take. Suppose we.
Negate.
What's that?
You're revealing 3 woes for what? Oh, for Bart.
For Bart, yep. And then also for Jairus. Well, probably not for Jairus, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be bad.
Yeah, you're doing Bart's first.
Yeah, we'll do Amazing Faith. I will not reveal for Jairus. I will ban to Jairus' daughter, though, just to toss the next. And then Peter's Meek doing his thing. So I think I've got numbers here, but can double check. 10, 15, 18. He's down 3, so that's 26, 36, 11, 13, 18, 25, 37. So 36, 37. And I think
I'm a 30.
I think you got, yeah, I think you got 33 strength. Got it right.
What's your strength?
36. So I think I believe I'm currently winning outright.
Yeah, I screwed up that entrapping. That complacent's killing me.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
Came
I
up
did
at the
it
right
that one.
time for me.
Yep. Yeah, that one got me. Oh, entrapping. Darn. And you said you're a 33?
36, 37.
36.
I think you've got
37.
33 attack.
Yep. Darn. Oh well. Lose them. Entrapping. I didn't have the New Testament gray. I just discarded it.
It's probably not a common occurrence for your deck.
That's not.
Not having a card to reveal.
I almost always check on entrapping.
Right.
And then I blocked with. I had Philosophy and Nicodemus. And I discarded one and then blocked with the other.
Yep.
I knew I had it up front. Oh well. Misplay on mine.
All right. Your go, good sir.
3. Nothing from a upkeep perspective, and I can put down Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
Turn that over. Put stuff over to the side. I don't know how it looks on your end.
That looks fine.
And let's put down Satan's seat.
Seems good.
I'm going to have Rit stay active.
Yep.
I'm going to Son of God complacent.
You would be using Rit, and of course I'm, I don't have my Paul right now, but if I did, then I'd be sad.
Let's see, I think I'm good to pass. You're at 4 with 23, so I hate to do that, but okay. Pass turn.
All right. Oh, I need my top card here, so we'll reserve your top.
Yep. Reveal top stocks.
Yep. And I've got a Hunter and a Lost Souls trigger pending. So let's do. Yeah, you're not punishing search at the moment, so let's see what else I got left in here. Yeah, I got a Humble still. Grab that. Not too worried about Meek Souls on your end, so I'll just give myself 2 more tokens. Alright, upkeep. Bethlehem Stable. Take Gabriel. I remembered. Alright, so this is where the deck gets real fun. Let's put down Golgotha. I will fail the search. Think I play. Let's do 3 woes is good. I'm gonna negate your dull.
Okay.
Which I realized that you missed a few dull triggers in that last battle when I played the Talithakum. That might have
Reveal.
saved
Oh,
you.
you did search with Bart.
Yeah, and even the Resurrect on Talithakum is a search.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because I needed my Paul to negate your neutrals, but yeah, and I couldn't have played my woes because of complacent.
Ouch. That was never original. Dole was never originally in the deck.
Oh, really?
I've never played it with Dole before, and I changed it tonight and swapped out Remnant because I wasn't getting a lot of value.
Oh, sure.
So I haven't tested with Dole in here yet.
Huh.
Darn. As you could tell.
Alright. We're going to activate the cross on Golgotha here. And then... don't think we need... Well... Yeah, alright, let's activate New Covenant. Go to Reserve for Proclamation. And then I will play I guess I don't really even need to do that, but I mean, yeah, let's do it. I'm going to play Roman Citizenship.
I've only seen your brother, Jordan, play that card.
Yep. I'm going to place it on Jairus, I believe. Yeah.
Each player must discard one card from hand. That is so funny.
And then I will go to battle. If that's cool with you.
Yep.
Alright. So start out with Gabriel. And negate my Pontius Pilate just in case. Ban to Emperor Augustus. I could discard an NT.
Probably don't need Chamber of Angels.
Fair enough. Then I can ban to an NT Roman except an Emperor, which, yeah, I guess we'll do it this way. We'll ban to Claudia. And then she will ban to Jairus. I will not reveal. I think the ban trigger goes, or I think the ban goes before the discard trigger, but I
Yes.
don't.
So first it would be Jairus,
Yep.
and then you resolve his ability, and then each player must discard one.
Yep. So we'll top deck her, toss the next, and then we'll each discard one. I'm gonna discard the Deceiver.
Okay, let's see. You got a gold guy, Gabriel, Clay, gold. Let's see.
And
You have
you,
Centurions,
oh yeah, you
Proclamation.
discarded Falling Away.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And let's see. Gabriel to Emperor, and you got 2 golds, and you toss the next. I about a 0% chance I can block here. Checking on everything. You toss the next. So you're going to convert me. Interrupt, convert, toss the next. That double gold is killing me. Because I can use Unholy Writ.
Right.
And I can capture 1.
Yep.
And then you'll still have the interrupt. For the other.
Roman citizenship falls off.
Yep. And that doesn't have a CBN on it, so it's not toss. That doesn't matter. Golgotha doesn't matter. Dole's negated, so I give you a niche. Even if I blocked with Nero and played an enhancement, it would be tossed, and then you can interrupt and convert me.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, play the Proclamation. We'll
Nice.
convert the Claudius.
Yeah, complacent got me that game.
That was big. Yeah. I mean, complacent, and then the turn after drawing into Golgotha, so I could activate the cross there too.
And then you got cross.
Yeah. Like because yeah, I don't think I would have been able to get around Claudius if I didn't have Golgotha to activate cross, because I needed either New Covenant to find an interrupt or Holy Grail to just convert your Claudius, and I figured having the interrupt was probably safer. I guess, well, yeah, I mean, maybe if I didn't have Golgotha, I could leave cross down, still either convert or take an enhancement, and then Gabriel negates your Colosseum so that I have Amazing Faith open.
If you got rid, if cross wasn't active, I discard self-destruction and keep falling away and get rid of your gold.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yep, because you've got Rit.
It doesn't matter. It's still 1 block. I needed my dominant support and didn't have it, and you got rid of my, like, first turn I had to use Christian Martyr, and you reserved Chronicles of the King as well.
Yeah.
And I could probably, hindsight, is play 3 woes pretty much immediately and negate that complacent.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised you didn't play the woes before you did I Am Creator. I figured that maybe having that on the table would have been worth, drawing one fewer card or kind of having one fewer option.
I
Um,
thought if I could get rid of complacent, because there was pretty much, I had four 50-50 choices this game, and I did every single one incorrectly.
mhm.
So that was one of them,
Yeah,
was not, the misplays were entrapping and dull,
yep,
and the one of the 50-50s was not playing three woes, which was calculated to put it back into my deck to hopefully get Son of God
yeah,
and then have woes in my hand, because I don't think you have a lot of enhancements left.
yeah. Your deck was getting pretty low, so I still had faith
Yep.
of Gideon, uh,
What?
just to do a little
Makes
shenanigans.
sense.
I mean, I
You play
had,
gold.
let's see, yeah, I had Good Seed, Emmaus Road, which, is maybe a battle winner. But yeah, those are my only good enhancements left. So otherwise, it would have been just going with Bart to try to recycle some stuff. But I had to draw into my Second Coming
Yeah.
as soon as I played Woes, because otherwise, Second Coming was the only good dominant I had left. The other one was Mayhem,
Okay.
um,
The
which,
other
yeah,
one of the other 50-50s was going with Brood to play philosophy, and I was like, if he has Second Coming, he's already playing it. So I don't think he has Second Coming, but I could try to get rid of Stable and try to get philosophy back later, but I don't think that necessarily mattered. I would have to play I would have to go Brood of Vipers and have a less than optimal block, and then play philosophy, which would then turn into a better block to get rid of something from your hand, which would have been huge.
right,
Um, but I thought at that point you still had two negates in your hand, and I wasn't going to hit Second Coming anyway. So it's pretty much like at that point, I'm not going to win anyway.
yeah,
Um, Try to get the block there. And if I got the block, then it's like, okay, he can get a Second Coming, and I still have to block him every single time. When you told me you were playing 57, I was like, I shouldn't play this deck. I don't like playing against 57s with this deck.
yeah, yeah. That's a little tough. I mean,
So
so you're at 51 though, right? That's
I'm at 51.
yeah. Huh. I kind of wonder. I mean, like, is what turn are you planning to start attacking? Like, is it just kind of
30.
whenever? Okay.
It's whenever it works, but I didn't care that I lost Michael Captain. I wanted your characters down so I could stocks them and Holy Grail them, and then you reserve stocks.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's like nothing's going for me this game.
Yeah.
And then I have Chariot of Fire in here, so if I was like, if I can get him to draw evil characters out and then I can stocks them,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if he knows I have Chariot, and I can flip my characters back into my deck with Chambers in my hand.
Right. Yep.
I didn't have Chambers when I initially attacked, or else it would have been down. But it was the next turn, and I was like, I didn't really mind. I didn't think you were going to give Job initiative anytime soon,
Yeah.
so I
Well, I
wasn't
mean,
too
maybe.
worried.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, my emperors aren't very big, so, or I mean, they're not very small. Um,
yeah.
I mean, I guess Vitellius doesn't give him initiative.
I
Um,
thought you probably were going to work. And when I say work around Job, I rarely attack with Job. It's a two, maybe three attacks.
yeah.
It's mostly just Michael Captain spam.
Right. Yep.
Usually, I get rid of your characters.
Yeah.
When I lose Chronicles and I can't play Three Woes and I can't play Murderous Command and I can't play Falling Away and I can't play Stocks, I'm not going to win that any game. You
Yeah.
know, it doesn't matter if they have a starter deck. I'm not going to win that game. that's, that's too much. I lost way too much of my potential to win battles.
Right. Yeah, I think. I mean um, I think the the other one was the Day of Judgment turn where you thought
Yeah.
Woes was gonna get you there.
Yep. Forgot about that
Um,
one.
what
That one
else?
hurt.
So what did you have that would have played around Day of Judgment instead, or like, or what? You said you
I
had
had
a
already
block.
used. Oh yeah, prior to, based on the person I brought into battle. if I bring in Emperor Claudius there, your Day of Judgment doesn't go through Claudius.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And at that point, I didn't think you had Proclamation, Amazing Faith was gone. I didn't think you had the interrupt for Claudius. I thought you just had the Day of Judgment.
right.
Um, and that was one of those like decisions I had to make. There was, like I said, well, I guess that wasn't a 50-50, but there was a lot of decisions I had to make, and I just made the wrong one.
Yeah,
Misplaying, which not even decision. That was a misplay. Not forgetting about Day of Judgment banishing itself
right.
is huge.
Well, I mean, hey, I guess it kind of goes to prove your point you've been making in your video or a couple of your videos lately of like if you're playing a deck that your opponent has no idea what's coming,
Yes,
it's gonna work out to your
absolutely.
advantage.
Which is funny because the video you're quoting is the deck that was the. It was either I was going to play Gandolfini, which you've seen enough Gandalf, so I wasn't going to play that because I want something different for your channel as well.
Yeah,
So it was really going to be purple brown, which I really like. That's a lot of fun.
yeah,
Or this deck, and I
uh-huh.
really, really, really wanted to play purple brown, but I thought there could be more learning moments for people to watch
Yeah,
because there would be more battles with this, which purple brown really likes to fight too. But yeah, the purple brown is a lot about if people don't know what the heck your cards do, you're at an advantage, and that's absolutely it. I forgot about Day of Judgment
yeah,
banishing itself.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, purple brown would have been interesting. I think actually having an opportunity to use my defense would have been uh, it would have changed the game for sure. I mean, like my defensive draw was kind of weird. Like, I mean, I had at the end of the game here, I had two evil enhancements, and I mean, I played Fear of Man and Territory, but other than that, I had didn't get to Tenants, didn't get to Duplicity, didn't get to Stricken. There's not like that many evil enhancements in here, but
And when I saw
uh,
gray, I wasn't even worried about it because I was like, oh, Michael's probably going to toss half his enhancements.
right,
So I wasn't too worried. And then with Chamber out, it's just a matter of pulling that Terrifying Beast
right, yeah,
and trying to get a stocks on him. If not, then I could use Job to get around it.
yeah,
Um, so I try to play methodically, but yeah, that I missed on a couple blocks, and man, losing Chronicles and losing a lot of those resources and stocks, that hurt because I don't have to use stocks. Like the first time I would probably use it on a hero and slow you down, but then eventually I'm going to hit that Terrifying Beast.
right,
Um, yeah, there was a lot of purple brown would have been a lot of fun. I not immediately regretted it, but I was like, oh man, this would have been a really good matchup with purple brown. It would have been fun to see.
right. Well, I mean, hey, there's still time. We just gotta we gotta find it.
Yeah, you let me know. I mean, I'm free, so um, I by all means I will play purple brown next time just for fun and for people to actually see that in person. I think it's a very good deck.
Yeah,
So I still have my opinions on the current deck, like how the meta's shaping up in the community and what they see. Like I think they still think speed is stronger than overall power,
right.
and I mean that. What was it? Your last turn, you're like, this is where it gets fun,
Yeah,
and you probably had so many different choices and options and what you could do.
it was
That's where I
really
really like it.
it was really just the Roman citizenship that I was like, all right.
But that's awesome for
Yeah,
people to see. You look at that card, and there's no way people play that. I
right.
guarantee you, no one could have even named that ability. You know. And
Yeah,
I was like, I know that card because your brother played it against me.
right.
But
Yeah,
the fact that it has a discard 1, which is always an advantage to the aggressor.
yeah,
So if it's my turn and I play that and then I attack, um, if you, I'll just use Jehu as an example, but you play that on Jehu and you're attacking with Jehu and you swap over to John the Fisherman,
yeah,
or you and Red Gold with Elliot.
yeah. Well,
I mean, you just.
it does have to be an anti-human, so it can't.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
did consider putting Jehu in here because I mean you can still do the
Swap over.
exchange. You
Yeah.
can't exchange for Augustus because he's technically
Royalty.
royalty. but you
You can
could
just
still do
J
like
John
Claudia
and
to Augustus to uh, to Jairus and get the toss next that way, or if you put Roman citizenship on John, that's another option to get the
yep.
toss next. I was like, all right, if
Discard
I'm
of the toss next.
right, yeah, I was like, oh, this is too fun. So
That is fun. I don't think people put enough value into build up attacks.
yeah,
I think it's a lot of I gotta draw and push something in your face and keep putting pressure on you.
right.
But
I
as soon
mean,
as people, hmm,
this is set up like I mean, part of the reason I wanted to try to get it down to 50 um, was because the deck actually can pretty quickly get a good Augustus on turn one. Like, I mean, I've got a pretty decent number of options for that, just between, Golgotha can grab Augustus. Let's see. So delivered can go to, or Denarius can grab Augustus. Delivered can go to Denarius or Grail. Simon can go to Denarius or Grail. And then, crowd's choice. I did want to have Talitha Koom in the main deck, and maybe that's something I could still do. Like, I don't think Godspeed is necessarily belongs in here, but I don't know. It was like I had room, so or like it was one of the cards I was considering cutting, but I didn't need to keep it at 57. But
what?
I,
So you're trying to get Augustus quickly to a hero.
yeah, so I want to get Augustus quickly to a hero, and then I was thinking about having Talitha Koom in the main deck because then what I can do is like if I Denarius, grab Augustus, put him in territory, discard Daenerys to draw 3, then I attack with Simon, go to Holy Grail, convert Augustus to good, and then play Talitha Koom to band him into battle, or play Prodigal Returns to bounce Simon and then
Yep,
add Augustus.
that's fun.
And then, I mean, the fact that Claudia is Roman, and then that just opens up any anti-hero. Like, I mean, realistically, I don't really need Roman citizenship in here because of that. But I was like, it's like
That's too fun
it's
not
too
to have,
fun, yeah. And the hand
especially in that
control
deck.
aspect is reasonable
Yep.
too. And then having Paul as an option as well, just seemed cool.
Hand
So
control is still king. I mean, and you were also, and that's what I've I don't know, debated, argued, talked about
yeah,
with other people, where people say win more, and they also say, oh, your deck's doing too much. You, you were getting free value off reserving the top card,
right, yeah,
and then you're also doing hand control, and I don't know, I can hear people saying, well, that's two conflicting things, and it's like it's not at all. It's the same. If
yeah. I
I'm
mean
limiting
the
you from your resources for free.
yeah, I mean, and a lot of the abilities are kind of on the same cards that I want to be using.
Yep.
Like, I mean, Jairus isn't exactly hand control, but he's kind of hand control. Like Jairus to Jairus's daughter, I'm
Absolutely.
tossing her next. Just basically discard an evil enhancement from your opponent's hand. Yeah, it's
Yep.
going to be the worst one, but it's still
I don't have
forcing
to
you to
do
do it
anything for that.
right. And then I mean the Talitha Koom is another reserve top, and I had ended up putting it in reserve. I think maybe it goes in the main deck and Godspeed goes somewhere else, but I figured having the star ability and gospel enhancement in reserve, I can get Talitha Koom out easier than I can do Godspeed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, I think after playing the game, there's a number of things that I think I'd be okay with cutting to get it down to 50, but I don't mind the 57. I think against a more aggressive deck than 50 might have been more necessary.
Yeah.
But having
Yeah,
that
that
shipwreck
definitely
was
worked
good.
out. Yeah, the shipwreck was huge. And then yeah, I wasn't expecting shipwreck and complacent. And then when you flipped up the cross, I just laughed. It's like, okay, that's the end of that. And when
Yeah,
my opponent for this deck, when my opponent is going to get free value on star abilities and hit my hand, and you're like, well, you still don't have hand protection. I don't use hand protection in this deck.
sure, yeah,
I use Satan's Seat.
right. Which
So
which I also did have in here, um, because that is kind of part of the nombo with this deck. I mean, for one, so I actually had Shipwreck probably a turn or two before I played it, and I was considering at one point playing Shipwreck on my stable to turn off the value from your Domitian and Trappers,
Yeah.
and then the turn after that, I was thinking, do I play Shipwreck on my Herod's Temple so that I can use my Holy Grail to activate or to convert my Augustus? Because that's kind of a nombo here. It's like you can't not use Herod's Temple in this deck, but it
Yeah.
does kind of turn off the Grail part. So that's why I included Satan's Seat, so I can turn it off if I need to. But just ways to get to Satan's Seat are pretty minimal in this deck. So
Yep. Yeah. I was constantly looking at your hand and your deck, and you had more cards in hand, and more cards in your deck, and more cards on the table. And
yeah,
I was like, yeah, this is.
I was a little surprised at the value, like how like just the little incremental draws that I was getting.
Yep.
But
They all added up.
Simon of Cyrene to activate delivered on turn one. I think people are people have talked about it, but I haven't seen it yet. But it's no joke. I think it's pretty good.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a hero that pulls a card out of your deck, so there's +1. The card then pulls a card out of your deck, that's +2, and
Right.
then you get a draw 3.
Yeah.
So your one hero just was a +5.
Yeah. And granted, you can't discard Denarius unless you already have an Emperor in play. So, I mean, in most decks that, most
that's
gray
true.
decks where
You
you're
won't get
just using one or two Emperors, you probably don't have one to play.
Yeah.
But you can still, after battle, then, put your Emperor down and get the draw 3.
Yep. I still think it's a +5 turn 1.
Yeah.
That also helps your defense. And when people love Matthew and they just push a Matthew out, well, Gold has phenomenal enhancements.
Yep.
And they get a hero that can get you a +5 turn 1 is no matter what their hand is. It doesn't matter if their hand's protect. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, you get a +5 no matter what is insane. And you still have an 8/7. That's better numbers.
Yep.
And it's still CBI. So yeah, I talked about him when he came out. I put, to my knowledge, all the artifacts out there, the Covenants, Denarius, Holy Grail, New Covenant, everything I said. Like, you have them all in here.
Yeah.
And
that was actually I got a little bit lucky, I guess, in the deck building phase here, where New Covenant wasn't in the deck, and then as I was cutting cards, I cut Consider the Lilies, and I was like, oh well, then I don't have as many ways to get the good enhancements out of my reserve, so I should figure out something else to put in there. And I was like, oh wait, hold on, I need New Covenant in here.
Yep.
That would have been real bad. But Simon to New Covenant to pull Amazing Faith on turn 1, that's also really good.
Yep. So the biggest thing for Gold is that everyone always said was it's slow. Simon almost single-handedly fixes that, in my opinion. And one, people also got to understand that not every theme isn't supposed to get every single thing.
Right.
Like, Gold can play a little slower. That's okay.
Yeah.
But the fact that Simon can go into Denarius, into New Covenant, and then New Covenant can go into Amazing Faith, and Amazing Faith can go into Crowd's Choice, and you can go into whatever you want, or Angel, it doesn't matter, or Resurrection.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, if you can turn that Simon into multiple ways to get resources, to where turn 1 Simon's +5, and then turn 2 it's New Covenant.
Yep.
And people also, they don't understand that you get the activation of prep phase, and then you get an additional artifact activation.
Right. Yep.
Which is massive.
Yeah, and then turn 3, it's maybe Holy Grail to hit one of their characters in territory pre-block, or it's the cross to turn off their dominance.
Yep.
I think Simon is is really good. And then even in the late game, like I mean, I'm probably not attacking with him, but maybe I'm banding him in with a mass bander and then just reserving your top card, getting a little bit more value that way.
Sure. I also like his sacrifice in reserve, and then um, being able to have like that his sacrifice to where you can activate something else and then go back into New Covenant. Like if I rescue with Holy Grail and I use my second usage, and then I do my band and I get Simon, then I flip up New Covenant and now I have
Oh,
just
sure.
whatever enhancement from my hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
there's a
mean
lot of stuff.
the downside is that he only activates from deck, so you can't like
Yeah, you're
once
not going to
you
grab something from New Covenant or grab something and be able to activate from hand.
right.
Um, but the fact that I can activate an artifact and then just yeah, I see what you're saying. You're saying if I have New Covenant in my artifact pile,
Yeah, then
then
you
I'm not going back to it.
yep.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe there's a deck with like 24 elders or something where you do you attack with Simon, you play Talith the Kum. Oh no, it only bans to 5 gospel heroes. You find another way. Good seed, I guess. Add your 24 elders to battle, and then shuffle your new covenant back, and then next turn you
Immediate
can
activation.
yeah,
Yeah.
just keep on looping that.
I
That's a
think
thing.
there's a lot out there. I think artifact activation is something that's not really explored too much.
Yeah.
Like delivered is delivered. We've always used delivered that same way, but now that stocks exist and Israel's rebellion exist,
Mm-hmm.
delivered can be a battle winner.
Yep.
So I do think
Stocks
that you can,
is Old Testament, right? It's
yeah,
um,
yes. Stocks is like Ezekiel or First Kings or something. Let me see. You
is
reserved
it
it,
in your reserve? Yeah.
Jeremiah.
Okay.
I knew it was something prophetic.
Yeah. All right. So it's not a gospel artifact, unfortunately, but
No, but I'm just saying, like, delivered can be a battle winner.
yeah.
Nation can be a battle. Like, activating artifacts can be a battle winner now on
Right.
both sides.
Yep. Yeah. Pagan sailors is big.
Uh huh.
That was my yeah. That's like the green mill deck. That was what I was trying to do with four horns. Is either pagan sailors or delivered.
We haven't seen we haven't seen a single reset deck this year.
Well,
Forty
it's
years,
because
four
Jared's
horns.
somewhere in the woodwork right now. Yeah.
Yeah, we might see him in June.
We need to
I hope so.
get him back out. Yep.
Yep, four horns. Um, I mean, I've seen some 40 years, but people don't like losing their stuff, and it's like you don't have to lose your stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You can keep it all out. Um, but people are very reliant on artifacts right now,
Yeah.
and you can get rid of those. There's just a lot you can do right now that I don't think people are exploring.
Right.
As much as I love John and Jay's deck of Pot of Mana, Glory, um, Holy Holies,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like, man, I wish they were two different decks up top, you know? So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to. Well, I guess maybe I won't say anything just in case I get paired up against one of them in the next round. But I've got something in the very much in the brewing phase, or it's kind of like it's bubbling. It's not even. I haven't started brewing yet, but I'm gonna try to kind of figure out a way to make that deck sad, and
yeah,
not be terrible and otherwise. But
I think Orange crushes that deck, and I think Thieves. I think Thieves crushes that deck.
hmm,
They're so reliant on, or just Demon Thieves. They're so reliant that deck is on singular heroes,
yeah,
and the Thief can just come in and take a few of their cards. Um, I mean, it's what you can take is huge, and then
with
with the Thief,
oh, okay, yeah,
and then their territory class enhancements, and what you can pop from them, and then just Demon Orange, and then all the stuff you can do with Orange, and negating their stuff in territory, and Rubble and Dust becomes a battle winner against other decks. But if you know you're playing Lackey Grand Prix and you have Rubble and Dust and Orange, it's like I shouldn't have an issue.
right,
And you have protection, and yeah, I really like Demon Thieves, and I really like Orange and Crimson Thieves against both. But I'm
Right.
interested to see what you come up with because I think there's plenty of decks that match up well. I was talking to Jay about a deck today, and he was like, "Yeah, I want a deck that works well against pot." And I was like, "Well, no, you should have a deck that does amazing regardless, and then if pot is active, you have plenty of options."
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, two possessed is interesting. Like you just pop
oh
that
yeah,
on their David and their Moses and
and then look at them.
yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Um but yeah, I mean the idea that I had is not demons or thieves, so
I love that.
yeah, well, I don't know. It could end up just being really bad, so I don't want to hype it up too much, but
Yeah,
I think at the very least I'll have fun with it. So
yeah, I'm interested to see that because there's a lot out there. I mean,
yeah.
I'm still waiting on the Holy Holies I Am Sustainer decks.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's really fun.
Yeah, that's in there. It's that's up there on the list, I guess, kind of with some posty variants that I want to try out, but haven't gotten around to yet.
There's a lot.
Um,
Um,
I think that
like it,
and Buckler are kind of the two, or so like I'm Sustainer plus Holy of Holies, and then Buckler are kind of the two things that I'm wanting to try out. I don't know if they belong in the same deck, but I think there are a couple ways to build posties like that.
oh, I agree. I mean, I've talked heavily about Automana with Posties because you get Joshua, Jehu, and Nehemiah,
Right. Yeah.
and you can have I Am Sustainer active. So if you want, you have your single brigade stuff works,
Yep.
or just don't even worry about that. But you could easily get it out with Posties, or you just have your if Pot of Mana is active, or you activate Pot of Mana, and now you have your 3 exchange heroes and Zerubbabel's coming in, and you have negate neutrals, which is falling off right now, and it never should.
Yeah.
And you have negate neutrals, Eliod, or Zerubbabel with your 3 exchange heroes,
Right.
and you get protection and hit their hand and hit their territory.
Yep.
That's really good. All under Pot of Mana.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think Buckler definitely goes with that version.
I agree.
Um, yeah, especially like I mean, Buckler to Eliud is great. Um, especially if you're doing all the exchanging and that kind of stuff. I think it's just gonna be weird for me to build that and like have a pot of mana posties deck because that's just. I mean, you've seen how I like to play posties. It's put
Yep.
these 8 heroes in battle and then make you
Yes.
make
It's
you.
a whole different deck.
So yeah, it's I'm interested to see how that shapes up.
But I don't think you need to play 2 different decks. I think you have one offense that uses your 8 heroes in battle, and you have all the exchange heroes that you would have used anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
And you play 20 shekels, or some sort of maybe Ermin Thummim, but you look at their hand,
Yep.
and it's like, do I need Pot of Mana? Or do I just play Book of the Law or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Like some sort of other artifact, and attack with my massive band, or play Pot of Mana and do the exchange. I do think it's the same offense, but tweaked a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my like I don't know. I guess we don't need to get into it too much with the ideas, but it's just like my style of posties is like I'm not gonna care about pot of mana because I don't want to leave you with enough evil characters to even ban.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
like I don't know, maybe, but and there are definitely going to be situations where it makes sense, but I feel like I would rather just have enough answers to your pot of mana and then just get as much value as I can. But yeah, I don't know. That's
I think the right
there's something
mindset
there.
is if you go against. Oh, I think there is. If you go against Pot of Mana and you can get around pot of mana, then you're in the pilot seat
Right.
because they're playing singular characters, which is going to more than likely lose against banding on both sides, offense, defense. You get to do whatever you want and get all the abilities, and they're pushing solos. And that's hard for them to play through a
You're
bunch
saying
of
like if you're
characters.
doing the like activate pot of mana as your you're saying when you're going against pot of mana and then you have
Yes.
answers.
So if
Yeah.
I'm playing pot of mana and you're going against me with posties and you get rid of my pot of mana, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage against you
Right.
because I have more than likely built my deck to where I'm playing with pot of mana and not through it or around it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then you get rid of it, and now it's like, hey, I have 7 heroes in battle.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. And
Yeah.
you have 2 or 3 enhancements, and all of a sudden, my opponent just drew 5 cards and got rid of stuff in my hand.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where the trouble is, I guess, when going or trying to figure out a way to do that against a deck like Gandalf or whatever, where they've got so many ways to protect and make pot of mana CBN and Holy of Holies, and that's what makes that deck good. And
Yep.
so that's where that deck is going to struggle, or like the Posties deck. Like even if you're building for that, like it's still going to be a little bit of a toss up if they get the pot and Holy of Holies out right away like they want to. So
I still want to see, which I've been saying a lot for a month now since the Thomas J. Memorial, that the that John and Jay both got to go first a lot of times.
yeah,
Or if they didn't go first, Nazi wasn't down.
right,
I want to see the pot of mana decks go up against Nazi when Nazi goes first.
yeah,
And John I don't know what John was playing, but John just went against Joe Mama, and Joe Mama was playing. I know he plays his Nazi deck.
yep. And that's exactly what
And,
happened.
and I assumed that's what happened when I saw the results, that Joe Mama just went right through it. And it's like, here's Nazi. I got to go first. Nazareth is down, and you don't get anything going. And your deck that is extremely reliant, which I always say, do not make a deck reliant on something.
Yeah,
Learn from me. I've done that at nationals and lost plenty of times. Do not make your deck reliant on something. And I think he got to go first, put down Nazi, and steamrolled through John because he had to get his stuff out and couldn't.
right, yep. Yeah, that's pretty much what John told me when I asked him about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
When I saw the matchup, I wondered if that would happen or not. I've talked about Nazi against that deck. I still think Nazi is the deck to beat because you have the speed burst and the GOC strength on
yep,
both offense, defense, and you have the phenomenal gray defense if you want. You have 4 Drachma Coin and Denarius. Like, if I really wanted to, I could just play 4 Drachma Coin, Denarius, this really strong GOC deck.
wait, didn't have 4 Drachma coin in this deck.
You don't have it?
Nope.
It's 57 cards.
And it's a gospel artifact that you can
And it's a
just
gospel
get the
artifact.
value with Simon. Oh, that's awesome.
You had to put Roman citizenship in
Yep.
over it.
Yep.
But yeah,
Exactly.
that's another one. But yeah, I still think that deck where you can draw through Nazi and play Ends of the Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know when I can have Nazi down and my deck works through Nazi. I still think you take concepts of Chad's Salty deck and play Nazi and Salty and all the ways to Salty, and you play Nazi and all the ways to Nazi,
Yeah.
and then you just play Denarius and 4 Drachma and Matthew and Gray. I still think that's the deck to beat. I don't want to play that thing. That's not fun to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you just gotta put down a Priest of Zeus with Blinding Light and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's the meta right there, right? Kills everything.
Yep.
So we'll see. There's a lot of stuff coming out. I think Redemption's in not the best spot. That'd be arrogant to say, but I think it's in a very good spot.
Yeah. I mean,
you and I have been playing.
I've been having fun with it, that's for sure. So
This
Not
is the most fun I've been having deck building in a long time.
yeah. Yeah, I mean like
Because,
I had so many I mean just like the last few decks that I've built have been like, oh, this is fun. Like I'm gonna really enjoy doing this. And a lot of that I think is because of roots, just like just the very simple but like usable abilities.
yep,
Uh,
we just talked about that on Wednesday, um, where Gabe and I are going through cards, and I mean, literally, he said it's like one of the good things about roots that everyone's talking about is, or one of the main points. I don't want to misquote him, but the context was like one of the good attributes is there's simple cards that are good
yeah,
because I don't need to come in and just over engineer and try to make some set that I don't care. I don't need to make the best set of all time. Like I want a really good set for people that's fun to play and thematic, backed up by scripture and tells a story.
right.
Um, so we want to take concepts of roots and have cards can be simple and not boring, and that's where I have to find the balance in between. But we're at a really good spot. We have a lot of really fun things coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, you're play testing. You play tested a lot. You've seen GOC all the way through what we're doing now, and comparing this set to Rebellion, I think this set is in a much better spot than Rebellion was at the same time.
Right.
Um, and I think the themes are there, and seeing we have Rebellion and uh, Israel's Deliverance, and then Roots, and now we're getting the last Israel block, the set from the last, I guess you could say the last piece of it, the third piece. Um, it's really awesome, and where you and I were just playing a few years ago, pre-rotation, and we had thousands of cards. I was like, what do you
Yeah.
play? And only a few things you could play,
Yeah.
and we played those for years.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, let's go to rotation, and let's bring in a bunch of really good new cards, and we're going to do another set. Um, it's pretty exciting. We're going to get to a point where I think you can kind of pick a brigade, and then each brigade has Old Testament and New Testament themes for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all competitive, and you can kind of pick what you like to play.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
my goal.
And even then, you still got brigades like Gray, where you've got a couple good New Testament themes, a couple you know maybe decent or like getting their Old Testament themes, but then and you could play any one of those by themselves, or you could just take the best of among them and uh, just do Gray. So yeah, there's lots of variety, which is fun.
Yep.
Like
And unless we, go ahead.
I was just gonna say a deck like this. Like I mean, this is this offense is like a complete like mash of things that just kind of works together because there are just so many options that kind of fit together.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, which yeah, with the big card pool, I think is responsible for that in a way.
And we are at a large carpool. I don't know what the number is, and I don't think anyone does. What's the healthy number? Because I study this game, and when we look at from a pre-rotation and we look at the card pool, and then we go into rotation, we got to understand that how much of the card pool are we using? How much I love Cloud of Witness. I think it's one of the like a milestone set,
Yeah,
um, especially with ROJ right after it with Reserve. Like it's both of those sets are phenomenal. How many of those cards are being used today, and like how many cards of each set of Persecuted, Early Church,
yeah,
Cloud, and ROJ is used? So we have this big rotation or this big card pool, but how much is actually being used? Um, I think POC is my personal favorite set,
mm,
and even then, there's only a handful of cards of POC used.
right,
So just because there's a lot of cards in the pool doesn't equate to balanced or competitiveness or fun. So that's where I'm learning, and it's tough because sure I don't care what the title is, lead design or not. I lean on the entire team that we have,
yeah,
but from a design perspective, the number to me could be misleading. I think, and my hope, is that we get to a more manageable number where everything's playable from a thematic standpoint, and the best players are always going to play the best cards, right? Like you and I are always probably going to go outside of theme.
Like Roman citizenship. Like,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at that. You're telling me that
Yeah,
not everyone plays this persecuted church card?
I mean, I have probably seen that card more than anyone else, I guess, twice. So it's been played against me twice. I couldn't believe it when you played it. I was like, have you talked to Jordan recently? What's going on here?
That was almost the entire reason I wanted to play this deck, but the other was just because Emperor Augustus as a hero just is cool to me.
He played that on me in Minnesota in Type 2 only.
Yep.
And even then I laughed. I was like, what are you doing with that?
And then you were like, wait, no, it's good. What? It's working.
It is good.
I mean, like, okay, I don't want to give anyone the wrong idea. It's not good, but like
Yeah.
when you're built for it, it works well. Like, don't just slap it in your Romans deck and expect it to do things. But yeah, I think the card pool definitely isn't as big as it was pre-rotation at this point. But I do think that the amount of playable cards is close to, if not even more than pre-rotation, just because there are so many Scrolls cards that just are never used or were never touched. Like a lot of, everything that came out of the foil packs, like there was only a handful of cards from each set that were actually used competitively, and that's true to some degree today, like you were saying with the Cloud and ROJ and Early Church and Persecuted Church, where there are only a handful of cards from each of those sets. But like in the more recent sets, I think almost everything is playable. Like it has a spot in some deck that can do well.
Minus Phineas and Hophni.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the goal.
I'm saying a gray defense with every CBP gray enhancement you can fit, and then Hophni or which one prevents enhancements?
I made them and I don't know. The intent was
Phineas,
there to show a cool way to ban, and the redeemed soul advantage shouldn't have been there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is Phineas the Useless.
It's Phineas the Useless. I'm learning,
but yeah, so Phineas, Balaam, and the Black-Gray Sabbath Breaker, and just, always be preventing enhancements, and then always have CBP enhancements to play. Like, there could be something there.
Something there. But maybe in a constructed play.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Or wait, do you mean maybe in limited? Or
like non-open play? So yeah. Sealed booster.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think they, maybe could work. I mean, I guess the problem is then you have to like get them together. I don't know. Or at least like Phineas, I guess, is playable by himself. Hophni, not so much.
Not so much. Yep.
But
yeah, those last second changes.
That's all right. Can't all be winners.
No. But least, I mean, you're still right. Majority of the cards coming out, I don't want to focus on the two, which is funny because those two sons screwed up. So and the card title was also hilarious.
Yeah.
I got a chuckle when I made the card title. I didn't mean to make him so useless, but
you spoke it into
the overall set. Yeah, exactly. But the overall set really good.
Yeah.
Roots phenomenal. Going into, you've seen the next set. I've been excited about that set for a long time. So.
Yeah. Wait, which set?
Yeah, the name's still hush hush. Israel's Secrets. I know. So I'm surprised I haven't, to be honest. That one's or Chris. Chris is also the go-to. So.
It's true. I guess I gotta get Chris on here.
Yep.
I think the problem really is that Hendrix has been slacking a little bit in the podcast department. He's usually the one who's pressing in on you guys to
You know,
try to get that information.
you know who attacks us in a good way is Brian Jones.
Yeah, I can see that.
Booster Jones hits us with so many questions. And he'll just keep asking.
Yep. And I'm sure it's like questions that aren't direct enough for you to be like, oh no, I can't
Always.
tell you that. But it's like, oh, okay, so you're saying this, then you have to just sit there and be like, uh,
He knows what he's
yeah,
doing.
yeah.
He's good at questions. He's been doing it for years. And I gotta tell Chris, I was like, no, don't
Can't
answer
talk.
anything.
You can't talk to Brian anymore. Just gotta ghost him.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm happy where everything is. I mean, just this game alone, the fact that you and I were talking, it's like, man, I got multiple decks that, I mean, you were building this up front, deciding what to play. I
Yep.
had multiple options. Um, you and I are both playtesting. I'm more concerned about playtesting. I wanted to play something where we could have battles.
Yep.
But the fact that we could just play something fun and I still think competitive, I think that's the where people get away from is that just because your deck isn't 50 cards and blazing fast and does 100 things,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you're not competitive. As long as you have answers in your build, you're okay. I do think GOC Burst Nazi is very, very good with
Mm-hmm.
Gray because it's, whew, I mean, I really like Tomb Raider with just like more of a GOC Burst flavor to it
Mm.
because
Yep.
of philosophy. You get the white heroes, but
Yep.
I still think as long as you have answers, I still think 57 is viable too. So
Yep.
I'm, I'm really excited for Nationals this year. I think Booster Draft's going to be awesome. Um,
Yep.
and just seeing the meta shape up will be really good. And we still have a couple big tournaments
Right.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah. We just gotta figure out where we're going for nationals.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know? Has that
Yeah.
been settled yet?
I mean, if it wasn't settled, I guess I wouldn't know.
That's fair. I mean, you might know, or you could know like, okay, it's either this place or this place, but
Yeah, not in a rude way. Like
yeah,
it is settled. Yes,
yeah.
I didn't want to sound rude. It has, to my knowledge, it is settled.
All right. Which, well, yeah. Where did it? Because on the
It
podcast, I know Jay was saying that like it was basically either one of two places.
all I'll say
Uh,
is get your passports ready.
oh, okay. Going to Germany,
No, we're
coming for
going
your
to
wrath.
Renee. So
uh,
I think it'll be good.
unless you're talking to Renee to get your passport ready. And, yeah.
And then it all depends on perspective.
Yep, that's true.
So if Renee's watching, it's hey, get your passport ready. So yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to this one.
Sweet.
So
Yeah, me
ho-
too. Yep,
hopefully have
I'll don't worry, I'm sure I'll be coming back for Type 2 this year. It was just a little bit too hard to see it be played last year and not partake.
I know
Might
we
have
missed you there too.
might have to go like every other year or something like that until I can get the booster or sealed title or whichever one I was going for that it was paired against.
You were going for booster, because I still want the sealed title as well. I've ranked in sealed, and there's so many times I was literally right there. If I win, I win. And then
Yeah.
I've gone against Brian and JD when JD had the just dumbest deck in the world. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, there was a couple games where it's like there was 3 times where if I win, I win.
Yep.
3 different games, and
Oh
I ended up
man.
getting third, fourth, or I think it was third, fourth, and fifth, or third, fourth, and sixth, or something, on 3 separate occasions for sealed.
Brutal.
And yep, and I couldn't get that sealed title, but um, I don't think it's not that it's fair, but designing the starters, even though people have had them out there now, I don't unless people want me to, I don't I won't play sealed. Um, I don't know how much longer I'm going to play Type 2 either. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it, but
Gasp.
I spend so much time designing and playtesting and building decks.
Yeah.
It's such an unfair advantage. Um, you, Jay, Jeremy, there's some phenomenal Type 2 players as well. Uh, but so that's, I guess, the only reason I'm okay with playing Type 2 is because
Because you
the
know that we're
very,
not going to let you get away with,
yes, yes,
pulling something that nobody else saw, or,
exactly.
yeah.
Yep. And we've straight up said, hey, I'm not playing this year.
Yeah.
Um, just last year, hey, I'm not playing Choke Seed. I'm not playing Orange. So
Yeah.
there was a multiple conversations about Orange. We all had it played, where we all had it tested, we all had it made.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a couple things, but I think if Chad starts playing more Type 2, E-Man keeps getting more toys in Type 2,
Yep.
and Jay's in there. If your brother comes back to Type 2, and we have 5, 6, 7 competent players, then that's a different story. Hey, play the best deck.
Yeah.
Um, I don't feel great designing cards and testing them and then playing. I would love to play Type 1 this year.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know how I feel about Type 1's different because I play more fun decks and a little off the wall.
Right.
Um, type t- so it's a
Yeah.
little different than Type 2, but yeah, I don't know how I feel. I don't know how long I'm going to be focused on playing. I think I'm always going to build decks, but I've spent a lot of time designing cards over the last 2, 3 years.
Right. Yeah, and I think, like, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I will say, like, I don't think anyone would be, upset or whatever. Like, I don't think anyone would really be, like, questioning of your character or anything if you were to. I mean, especially with sealed. Now, the starter decks have been out for long enough, and they are starter decks. Like, I think people are, there are not too many tricks that you can pull by, like, knowing
Yep.
a little bit more about the design of them, or, like, how they've been built. So, like, I don't think anyone would really care about that. And then even in Type 1, like, I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, he was holding this out on us and then surprised us with it at nationals, and that's, like, information that he got through, designing the cards. Like, I don't think that. I mean, I
No,
for
I
sure
agree with you.
wouldn't, like, be, suspicious, or like, oh, he's got an unfair advantage. It's, not
And
fair.
I give away so much information.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing is, yeah, you're posting your decks online and you're talking about the strategies and stuff. Like, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at for myself too. Like, even I do a little bit of play testing, and not, like, feel like I need to defend myself or anything, but it's like, I have some experience with the cards, additional to what other people do, but also I mean, it's everyone has at least a year or so in the way that we've been
Yep.
releasing sets now, and then um, and you guys also change stuff on me.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. That's the
So,
other thing is sets coming out at Nats, like that gives everyone time.
right.
Um, so that definitely changes. And back when I wasn't a part of the team, like if an elder played, I was excited.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to beat them or I wanted to play them,
Yep.
regardless. So I do see that aspect. Um, but also from the other thing is like I feel like I'm more called to serve.
Mhm.
So if it's um, I've played for so many years, if I can judge
Yeah.
or I can deck check or I can just be on the outskirts in any way I can help, um, I definitely feel more of a calling there. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I will keep making Type 1 decks and playing. Like I plan on going to a couple regionals this year in a couple states. We're trying to get the everything solidified for New York, um, to go up there with a group. So
Oh,
that's
sweet.
also, yeah, hopefully that'll be fun. And then
Is that
just me signing up
for
for Scroots.
first? You are going up for that one?
I mean, we have an ongoing group chat about
Uh,
who's
nice.
going and how we're getting there and
That's in
what we're
like a week and
doing.
a half, right?
Uh-huh. Yep. So I had messaged Mark originally. I have it on the calendar, and I had
Mm-hmm.
messaged Mark originally, and I was like, I plan on going. So,
Nice.
um, and then it was like, how do I forget that I moved to Greenville. It's a lot easier to fly out of Atlanta.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there's that, which I could just drive down to Atlanta and then fly.
Right.
That's really not a big deal. I'm 2 hours from the airport, but yeah. So I spoke to Mark about that, and then, or the Southeast boys were trying to all get a caravan down there or up there and see
Nice.
how we could do it. But
Yeah, there was a chance that work was gonna bring me out there
mm-hmm.
for uh for something like kind of like in Massachusetts. So I would have been
Yeah,
like 5 or 6 hours away, and it would have like probably would have been able to work it out to stay for the rest of the weekend. But yeah, I don't know if it's I don't think that's gonna work out. So
ugh,
yeah,
dang.
yeah, that
I
would have been
haven't
fun.
even. I know. I haven't even looked at Scroot's format.
Yep,
Um,
same.
but it's so intriguing to me.
Yeah,
Like I,
there's like just enough stuff and routes that like I think like I expect it mostly to be scrolls cards because I think just in general there are enough
agreed.
scrolls cards that are just overall better. The power level is
Yep.
there because they weren't tamed down in the same way that you your Angel Under the Oaks and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But I think there will be like just enough cards and routes that will make it interesting. Or they'll change the way you build your deck at least a little bit. Um, yeah, I think that'll be cool.
Yeah. I messed around with a good bit. Talked to Jeremy a little bit. I mean, we kind of talked to Jay. Um, and just kind of seeing what there is and what we could play and everything. And it's definitely. I like it way more than last year's format. Last year's format felt very much in a box.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this.
Hopefully, Roots kind of opens up more things than the just judges.
Yes, exactly. So I at least feel like you have options to play non-judges or play against judges.
Yeah,
Last year it just wasn't there. So
right. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully everyone enjoyed this episode of Tyler Talks at the end of the game here.
I know I try not to, but then I get to start talking redemption and I can't help
Oh,
myself.
that's perfectly fine. We like that here. This is a redemption with Jaden after all, so it's we're doing redemption. We got the redemption portion. We got the talking portion from Tyler. I think it's the makings of a good video. So
Yeah, we can just cut the video in half. I'll just start it from after our game's done.
there we go.
We'll be good.
People will just be watching the game, and I'll just be like, all right, or you say, all right, yep, that's it, good game, and then I just cut
Part
the
two.
video there. Just
So yeah, if you want, let's we could play next week. I'll play purple brown and get that out there just so people can see something different,
yeah, yeah, we could
different
work
ways to
something out.
attack.
Um, can maybe even try to do like a live stream or something. I think people would like that.
I can do that because I literally have my camera is showing green right now. I just didn't turn it on, so all I got to do is start my camera up, and we can do a live stream, camera on. I think that'd be really cool. Hey, see if Olahar can commentate or
There we
Jay
go.
or something. That'd be pretty cool to commentate on the side and do like a Friday or a Saturday night
Yeah,
game.
yeah, that'd be cool. All right,
I'm good with that.
we'll workshop it now that we've teased people about it. So,
I'm good with that. I'll message you. I'm actually free this Friday, so you let me know. But my schedule's opened up, and we'll talk.
all right, sounds good. All right, we'll catch you later.
All right, I'm stopping my recording, and I will talk to you this week. See you,
Sounds
my
good.
friend.
Yep.
Bye.
And thank you to all of you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the game and seeing this kind of off the wall sort of fun deck here, and then Tyler's D heavy deck there. So that was a fun game. Glad we got to talk a little bit afterwards. Maybe give you guys some teasers and some info and some thought process about the deck, and yeah, that was That was good. Always good stuff with Tyler. So, all right, with that, see y'all next time.